What's up, YouTube? This is Bardich and YGO guys. Today I'm here with everybody's favorite friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh superhero, Ben 10K of Yu-Gi-Oh. How you doing, Ben?
I'm doing good, brother. I'm doing good.
Awesome. Okay, we're here to be discussing the recent ban list. Konami so graciously decided to drop the ban list today, right while I was uploading a brand new video. Of course, one of the cards in that video got hit, so you know how I'm feeling right about now about that particular hit.
Yeah, Konami.
Yeah. And of course, that helps with the whole situation of the shirt that I'm wearing. Spank Me Harder Konami on this setup right there.
That's in my merch store, just saying.
Yeah, then you can buy this fine shirt on Ben's merch store right there. Ben, you can just tell us a little bit more about what helped you come up with the idea of that shirt.
Okay. Long story short, there's a dinosaur duelist Facebook group, and 2 formats ago, they were all talking about how Konami's gonna ban our deck and all that stuff, and I'm sitting there like, so that was the inspiration because these dinosaur player masochists are just like, spank me harder, Konami.
Yeah.
And I just was inspired to make that. So now that's the official like ban list time T-shirt.
Yep, it is. All right. The other thing of note before we jump right into the list is that the next update will be no sooner than December 15th. So we're not getting the next list in November like we normally do. We're getting it in December. And given how Konami likes to maybe make us a little bit wait, not after this, we might be seeing it possibly after this date. Could be Konami's Christmas gift to their community, basically giving us another ban list to saying, hey, you can spend your Christmas trying to figure out the next meta.
Because that's what we want in our stocking.
Exactly.
A new ban list. Maybe they'll fix all the problems with this one.
Oh, hopefully they will. Okay, so...
Or else, Konami, I'll turn you into a Karibo.
Oh, boy. Are you playing around with the watch again, man? And then you're going to turn people into things now? Okay.
I admit nothing. Nothing.
Okay, then. All right, so we're going to get started off with the first hit right there, which is going to be Black Dragon. I think pretty much anybody who does ban list analysis or ban list...
Sorry, where did that come from?
You got to get something done with that cough, man. But like I was saying...
Allergy season.
Oh, yeah, it is. But like I said, almost anybody who does ban list predictions pretty much had this card in the crosshairs that it was going to get banned. I mean, and anticipators, whenever this card hit the graveyard, they were getting 3 Black Top monsters. So, and you could use this card multiple times during the course of a turn. So yeah, it's a lot of advantage it can generate. Ben, you have anything to add on to that?
Yeah, I mean, the good news is for the Adamance players is they really didn't need this card. They're already a really powerful deck. They already have plus engines before they even got to this card. So this card's really, it's a much needed hit. So they're like, I still think they're going to be a meta deck. I mean, come on, they have their own spell and trap negator. They have their own like flip monster. They have a card that's basically BB Crow on legs. I mean, all the synchro monsters are disruptors. So this is a much needed hit to lower their ceiling to something that's a little more fair.
Yeah,
I think they'll still be a meta deck, but they
didn't lose much. This is not like a death to the deck hit. This is just basically putting it in check.
Yeah, that's really all it is. Yeah, this is just putting it back down to a level where a tier 2 deck or a rogue deck still has a shot at beating it.
And the same can almost be said about the next 2 bans about Jet Synchron as well as Mecha Phantom Beast Online. I mean, this is kind of putting the Synchro engine into check. I mean, with Jet Synchron being banned, it's no longer the 1-card combo to go into the whole engine, and without Phantom Beast Online available, you're not going to be able to extend normally like you do with it in the deck. Ben, you got anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna be the negative Nancy here. I'll admit it.
All right.
At least I'm honest about it. I don't really like these hits. I'd rather them just actually hit the problem, which I think is Link Cross and Needle Fiber. However, like we discussed before the cameras were rolling, that this was a much need. This was and a lot of other tubers probably have said it too. This was inevitable. We knew Konami wasn't going to sacrifice their money making
Cards.
cards for especially this year's money making
Yeah.
cards just to let us have a special summonable tuners.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. We're gonna have Hacker Footbacks and Link Cross. Well, maybe not Link Cross around for a while. I got a feeling Link Cross might be going next
yeah,
because they're not gonna touch Hacker Footbacks.
and like you and I also discussed, before the cameras were rolling for this, we're still gonna see Jet Sing or not Jet Singer. We're the cheaters are still gonna play Jet Singer.
Well, they won't.
No, I was gonna say we're still gonna see Halka Fibrax.
Yeah.
It's just it's the only difference now is that what Konami's really done is they've just taken out the one, like you said, the one card Halka Fibrax. They're making it to where like you will have to use 2 cards to make this card. So it's not like we're not going to see play anymore.
No,
it's still
not.
going to see play. It's just going to be
it's a little bit more fair in my opinion because Orion definitely was a very good extent of getting that extra token on the board can allow you to get just that extra negate when building your field. So right now we don't have that extra token, and it's basically going to be something where if we are going to still go into like using despots, 003, 001, Hacker Footbacks brings out the 001. You go into Aurodon gets you 3 tokens, and then both of the 001s come back on the field. It's basically going to be you're going to be needing to, I think, go into a level 7 at this point, because there is no other level 2 Mecha Phantom Beast, if I'm correct. I think
sure.
what was it? Or I think what was it? Let me just check the card database because I know the Mecha Phantom Beasts have 3 tuners. There's one level 3. I think there's a level 1, but it locks you. There's a level 1, but I think it locks you into win attributes. So let me just look that up real fast.
Sorry, I'm trying not to burp into the microphone.
Yeah, so the level, you have a level 3, a level 2, and a level 1 Mecha Phantom Beast Warblon. This card's sent to the graveyard for the Synchro Summon of Machine Type Monster. You can special summon the token, so that's the only way you can get it. So possibly you could use this with maybe Metal Marcher. The only thing about it is that it's going to lock you into wins. So I don't think
it seems very disadvantageous.
Yeah, not for the engine at all. So you're going to be. It's not. I don't think we're going to be seeing. It's going to probably be more or less something like we're going to see possibly a level 7, and then use the other tuner to bring out the level 8.
Okay.
And then possibly maybe linking off, or possibly linking into maybe something else using the token, and then linking off the Aurodon for another Link Monster somewhere around the road. I mean, I think that's the way that's going to go right now. I haven't played around with it a little bit, but it's definitely what we're going to turn around and look at. But that's pretty much the bans.
Yeah, and then also like we were also discussed last time. You're still going to see it with Plague Spreader. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of experimentation with that monster now.
Well, yeah, Plague Spreader. Yeah, I mean, definitely be the next level 2 to utilize if you don't want to be building into level 7 and then level 8.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's pretty much it for the bans. We only got those 3 hits. I think the writing was on the wall for all of these, so
yeah, nothing surprising.
Nothing surprising with the bans. Now for the limits. All right, we're going to take our time with this one. We have Double Iris Magician. This is actually coming off the ban list. I can tell you right now, not very surprised this is coming back because Pendulum decks aren't doing anything right now. And I've been looking at this card.
The only one that I really think Triff is the only one who actually even bothers to try them.
Yeah.
That's dedication right there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he is the top Pendulum player, so.
Yeah.
But still, I'm been looking at when I actually saw this come up of possibly coming off the list. I know a lot of people when they saw my prediction list, they kind of said this was kind of floating around in the comment section about free double iris magician, and I actually looked the card up, and I'm just sitting there and trying to figure out why was this card banned in the first place. I mean,
I still can't remember what the damn
no,
thing
it's like
is.
no.
I haven't played it against a pendulum deck in so long.
So it's just weird that something like this was on the ban list for that long of a time. Even after the Master Rule revision went into effect,
Yeah.
it sure came down the list a little bit. So I's Magician got another piece to their deck back, so that's not bad. I mean,
yeah, I know that pendulum magicians will use him too.
oh yeah,
I know that much, but I don't think it's going to make much of a difference,
no,
really.
it's not.
I mean, pendulums are still a decent deck. Like,
Yeah.
there's a reason why they're like stuck in that, especially in that tier 2 section at the very least. Like, they never drop below.
The reason why they're stuck in that tier 2 is basically right there.
Yeah, yeah, and the master rule change didn't help.
Oh yeah,
them
because
at all.
they're stuck with the links. So
Yeah,
I mean that's one thing they can actually turn around and do for pendulum decks in the future. I know Dynamists are actually part of the ongoing poll, and that's actually this weekend's match. Is that they actually start making in R-type links for the decks. It might actually do a little bit better for the decks. I know Dynamists would probably need 2, and they would have to be the first link pendulum monsters created. So
yeah, Electromite was the official pendulum one, and then of course like pendulums also have like all right. So the big pendulum decks are pendulum magician, and they have options.
yeah,
But every other pendulum deck is kind of their options are very slim pickings.
Yeah.
So we definitely need a Electromite to either come back at some point, or they need to start making more link monsters that are pendulum friendly.
Yeah, I mean, make them more R-type specific, so they work within the particular decks and not abusable across the board. I mean, I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I would, though, the only caveat I would add to that is that I think that they would be better for them to be on the cheap end. Like, maybe their effects don't need to be necessarily broken, just playable.
No, it's just this helps the deck's mechanics going and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like in the case of Dynamist, like you brought them up, they're the perfect deck as an example of this. Yes, they have a pendulum, or they have link monsters they can use because there's link monsters that benefit machines and water monsters.
That's true.
But they don't have their own link monster.
Yeah. Something that benefits the deck really better. So
yeah, and they're actually a very unique and underused pendulum deck in my opinion.
They're an R-type that actually came very close to being competitive. I think a couple years ago, I think was it YCS Pittsburgh? They actually.
They got closed, didn't they?
Yeah, they were eliminated right on the bubble.
Yeah, they were like,
and they actually did pick up quite a popularity afterwards because of that. It didn't just fade it because the pendulum hate got real. But then again, now that we have the votes, a lot of the pendulum players are actually going behind Dynamists, and we're gonna see what's gonna happen because I got a feeling this is gonna be a very interesting matchup. I know the reason why Konami saved that for last.
Yeah.
All right, so the next card.
What I was going to say is like they have 2 negates. They have access to 2 of the greatest negates in the game.
Yeah.
Cyber Dragon Infinity and Totally Awesome.
Totally Awesome. Yep.
So
this is
I guess we'll bring that back up later.
Yeah. So we're going to be coming down here. The next card off the ban list right there is Phantom Knight's Rusty Bardich. I know you have a lot to say about this particular card. For me, I can tell you right now, with this and some of the other moves that are later on the list, I know very well that Farfa is probably still celebrating wherever he is, setting off fireworks, having parades. His deck is at full power.
Himself Irish. I'm just kidding.
I wouldn't be surprised. But seriously, I mean, with all the new Phantom Knight support that's coming out at the beginning of November in Phantom Rage, yeah, this move doesn't surprise me at all that they're actually doing it now. So we're going to probably see an upswing, definitely in PK Fire. And I wouldn't be surprised if PK Fire actually picks up a few new tricks, because I was looking at the cards that are in Phantom Rage coming down the pipe, And that new quick play rank up spell is pretty damn awesome.
Yeah. In my case, I'm just excited to try and rehash an old deck. For the audience, you guys may not know this, but I'm kind of known in my local area as one of the Lightsworn players. So back when Phantom Knights got released, everybody else was playing PK Fire. I was playing PK Lightning, which is Phantom Knights with Lightsworn. And this card actually did help in that deck. I might have to get reacquainted with it, but I'm glad it's here because I mean, come on, being able to throw out double Fog Blade
on
top of any other disruption you happen to draw is just
exactly. It's too good. I'm gonna go back to my old PK Fire deck that I had. I think was January of last year, and I'm definitely gonna rewatch that. I'm gonna re-equip myself with that particular build. I'm gonna start going over that. So definitely.
Oh, sorry. And something I did forget is now Lightsworn has the Twilight Sworn, which is something I never really got a chance to mess around with before.
That is true. They have the Twilight Sworn, although the banishing kind of counteracts the whole thing of keeping the Light Sworns in the graveyard. So yeah, you got to balance it. I know the Lila is pretty good. The Lila from the Twilight Sworn is kind of the best one out of them. So
yeah, I know that most people only use Lumina and Lila, and that's like it out of that.
All right. So
what's next?
Next card is the one. This is the one that I think everybody is kind of miffed with because it's pretty apparent what Konami was trying to do, and it's basically tried to grab money with this particular move, putting Call by the Grave to 1, forces players to go after cards like Forbidden Droplet or even the triple tactical treasures. I mean, it could be also we might be getting Crossout Designator down the line. Fingers crossed that we might see that in Phantom Rage as well, but still, I mean, yeah, this is not a good move in my opinion because with this card going on the 1, we're going into a major hand trap heavy format then.
Yeah. Right. I'll put you this way. I think what you're going to do is like you and I also discussed. This is going to be. It's like you said. This is very much. This limit had everything to do with money more than this because this card was not a problem.
No.
It's just in the game. It's just this card is going to be. This was the budget player's option, and Konami wants us to buy packs, so they limit our budget option.
Yeah.
That leaves us basically playing the one Called by the Grave and then relying on the Gamma package to hopefully have outs to hand traps. So basically going forward, you're going to see is people trying to use all their like draw and search spells early on in their turn so that their Gamma can protect them and try to bait out the Ash, essentially.
True. I mean, we could do that. I know possibly if the decks could probably utilize it, probably trying to get cards that, well, with the ones that have to be sent to the graveyard, I know trying to get something that banishes stuff off to the graveyard. I know possibly with Dark Tribute decks could be doing Mask Change 2 to go into Dark Law. I know that was something that was big with Burning Abyss players back in the day when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting to see how the meta shapes up now with this at 1. I know Konami didn't mess around with Call by the Grave being, I think, semi-limited once before.
They semi-limited it last time.
Yeah, it was semi-limited. So before I moved it back down to 3. So this is definitely another money move. However, they may take stuff away, but they also gave us back another spell card. Harpy's Feather Duster is now officially off the ban list. My opinion, this card is just too late coming off the list. I think this should have came off the list during the Pendulum era just to deal with a lot of the back row issues that were happening. I know it would have been a necessary evil at that point. I mean, it's a good budget option to have. So.
Yeah, I was about to say that, but yeah, I completely agree. This card is coming back is long overdue. We've needed a card that tells back row decks to
Well, somewhat, yeah.
Yeah, I guess you could say we were trying to dust, clean up the back row a little bit.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. But yeah, with cards like Lightning Storm around and Twin Twisters, Harpy's Feather Duster it's just another option now.
Yeah, it's another option. Yep.
and it's like you said, it's long overdue, and it's past its prime.
Yeah, it's
Lightning Storm is just a better card, but
um,
the budget players
mhm,
now we can play cards like Regeki, Dark Hole, and
yeah.
now Harpy's Featherbuster added
Harpy's
to our
Featherduster.
list.
We got back. Budget players got their back row removal. I know. I still have all my copies. I have my one secret rare from the video game. I think what was it? Stairway of the Destined Duel, or was it Eternity or Eternal Duel of
Hmm.
Souls? One of the Game Boy Advance games that was first came out.
I think
Um,
all mine are common reprints. I have to look. I haven't dug out my band stuff in a while.
yeah. But then again,
I
yeah,
think
I also have the whole reprint when it was reprinted in the battle packs. But
yeah,
as for back rows, I'm not sure. I mean, this card will probably see play in the side decks. I don't think it will be main.
yeah, I agreed.
And depending on your particular deck, I think it really would mean what you want to fit into it because certain back row removal cards will be better against in certain matchups or with particular
Hmm.
decks. Like Twin Twister with its discard effect might benefit cards or decks that need cards to be in their graveyard. And then Cosmic Cyclone, it's out there and it can just basically banish stuff off the field. So there, like I said, we have options now, and it's not a bad option to have.
No, it's a great option.
Yep. Very good. This is something that I'm very happy with. So that's it for
Yeah,
the limits. We're gonna come
and
down.
because it's a one of,
Yeah,
like, there's no point to side against it either. So it's
no, it's not. I mean,
yeah,
because you're either gonna be running the silent judgments to stop things from your opponent. Like if you know your opponent's gonna probably be running triple lightning storm, you're gonna be siding. You're
yeah.
gonna definitely have stuff in your deck to protect against that.
Starlight Road,
Starlight
Raising the
Road,
Dragon,
yeah.
whatever your side of choice is. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So now we got the semi limits, and the semi limits again. This is pretty interesting here because
Hmm.
we got Seer,
We got a
Branch of
lot
the
of pulls.
Burning Abyss. We got Graph, Branch of the Burning Abyss. Now we're running them both at 2. I'm very happy with that. I mean, I was very shocked that it happened, but yeah, very awesome.
So so is a certain other Yugi tuber we know,
Yeah,
Rosima.
Farfa again. Like I said, he's living it up. He's living the best life right now.
Yeah, he's drinking right now.
And of
He's
course,
getting hammered.
we're also getting a reverse on a bit of a mistake. A lot of people thought happened on the last list, and that was ABC, Dragon Buster, and Totally Awesome being both put to 2. I think this is where they should have went on the last list. They shouldn't be put to 1 automatically. I think Konami just overreacted with these 2 cards' power. Putting them down to 2, I think, would have been a better idea. And then seeing how the decks play out in Master Rule Vision. Of course, we had the pandemic, so it would have been up there and out there. So I know I've have experience playing against Dragon Buster. They're not fun when they're multiples, but still, 2's the better number to
Yeah,
have.
but here's the thing with ABC Dragon Buster, the deck was basically dead without more than one.
Yeah.
Like legitimately, I played against one the other day, and I was not playing well. Like I was not playing well. I was playing a very crappy like Cyber Dragon deck. And as soon as I got rid of the one Buster, it was like, oh,
Yeah,
I
GG.
win.
Yep.
You don't have any more.
Yeah.
So they needed their Buster Dragon. As much as a pain in the butt is a card as he is, he's a disruptor. He's able to put multiple monsters on the field,
Yep.
and it's a much needed card. They like just for the deck to even function, it needed to be at least at 2.
Yeah. And the same thing could possibly be said by Totally Awesome because we have negates for pretty much any water deck that can get it out. Anybody who runs the Frog engine, whether it be Frognards, now have two copies of this in their extra deck to play with. I'm excited with that. We have with my if you see my pull video for the Megatins, I kind of fell backwards into the Marinus deck. So now that I have 2 copies of Totally Awesome, I can actually build that Marinus Frog deck now. And I'm very happy with that because I've actually seen that deck in action, and that deck can put multiple Totally Awesomes on the field consistently, turn after turn after turn. So yes, it is a good card to have back.
Yeah. I've also played it in my my Mermelanian deck because it's like easy, it's easy to get it out there. But a deck that I'm really excited that I picked up cards for recently that I'm really excited to start experimenting with is Sharks. So Yeah, it's no secret. I don't really like a lot of the characters after 5Ds, but I did find like the shark deck interesting. So I'm gonna mess around with it. It's something I'm excited about, and totally awesome is just it's another card that I'm glad that it does exist because the that shark deck and a lot of water decks just in general would not have negates
Yeah.
without it. All right, so now we got to get to the free stuff.
Yes, the stuff that came fully off the list. The first and foremost is
Alright.
Makiura of the Destructor. This card is actually getting an errata in the next Legendary Duelist set, so it's
Mhm.
actually very good. Don't have to keep it banned anymore or limit it. Come off the
Yeah,
list because of the errata, so it's not a bad move.
yeah, and the errata I think limits it to one trap card,
Yeah,
and I think it has to go from the field to the grave now. I think that's the errata,
yeah,
right? So the decks that fundamentally are going to be able to use this card the best, my guess is Paleozoic,
maybe.
maybe as a one-off, maybe I don't know. And I think it's once per duel, isn't it? Or is
Yeah,
it just?
let's take a look. Let's take a
I don't
look.
remember.
The errata should be in the database, so let's see.
Yeah, I don't really remember. It might not be once per duel. I might be making that last part up, but I know for sure it's supposed to be one trap card, and then it's supposed to go from the field to the grave instead of just going to the grave. Period.
All right, the turn this card was sent to the graveyard. You can activate trap cards from your hand. This is the old. This is the old stuff.
Okay, so they just haven't updated it
They
yet.
haven't
We know
updated
the
now.
OCG has it already, but
Yeah.
we're not worried about it.
So all right,
And it's fine if we have to play with it like that for a little while. I mean, it's not like we have really big events, and if we're playing with it the old school way,
Mm.
then at least for a little while, then okay, cool. It's not going to be something that's going to happen a lot, and like I said, there's only like two decks that I can think of that can actually abuse this. So
Yeah, I think the errata is sent from the field to the grave in order to get it. So it's not bad. I
yeah,
mean, it'll have its
yeah,
uses in those decks, but that's about it. Tour
yeah.
guide from the Underworld again. This is going with Graf, Seer, Rusty, Farfar going completely, totally crazy. So, I mean, I actually had this coming off the list on my predictions. With the
That
amount of
dude's waking up in a ditch tomorrow. He's gonna be like next to his waifu. It's gonna be some German tour guide. He's gonna
oh
be
my
like,
god,
"Is it good for you?"
oh,
Yeah.
I might.
Somebody's gonna meme that. You watch. It's
Uh,
gonna be me holding a card. Just
oh, there's already memes with his face going on. I mean, that whole situation of Konami deciding the whole ban list with the guy window going go out the window type meme going around with his face in the middle as the middle guy.
Oh god.
So yeah, the memes are going around. I wouldn't be surprised his next stream is going to be a special stream with all faces of him and memes of
Right.
him going out.
Oh man. The guy's a meme master at this
Oh,
point,
he
I'm
is.
sure.
He definitely is.
All right. So the next one also we have is Ibagishki Guts Kraken, or
Yes.
however you say it.
The guts crashing or Gus cracking or
This is hungry. I can't
the
speak
squid
English
with the
right
squid
here.
with gas. There.
I think I've seen this monster. I know enough. I've seen enough hentai to know where this is
Oh
going.
boy. Now, I know there a lot of people. This was questioned about why this card was still on the list. I think if we go back up to the bands, I think there's really nothing with rituals being up there. I think mine Angus was the one that really needs to be remain at one because that's the one that rips cards out of the hand. So I'm thinking with the ever since the evolution of the game where we got the hand traps, this deck is a little bit easier to stop now. So
Yeah, and we have a lot more options than we used to. Like you and I discussed last time.
yeah,
Before the cameras were rolling, I mean, look, it's just the Gishkis do a lot of searching, and that's also like, and to get off all like Nibiru is a pain in the butt. They're not gonna. The
no,
Gishki deck's just not gonna get off everything it wants
no,
to
they're
do.
not. I mean, even if they can get them off, things like Nibiru, and if can just shut down turns altogether. So
Yeah, it's just
it's
and there's a lot more graveyard based decks now
yeah,
too. Now that I think about it, like you might take their whole hand away, and then they're like, "Thanks, I was playing Burning a bit."
No. Yeah, well, I'm thinking if you start seeing your opponent losing burning of his cards, you're gonna stop fucking with their hands. So
Could you imagine that Gishki player's like, I'm gonna loop him,
yeah,
and then that dude's just there like, oh, okay, there went my Scarm.
yeah.
Oh,
There's Sear,
oh, look at that, there went
there's
my
Graph.
Rhino. Oh, look at that.
Oh, there's Farfa. Huh? Banishing stuff from
Oh,
the fields.
oh, is that a Phantom Knight Silent Boots? I'm gonna get the negate next turn. Oh God, that Gishki player's just going, what have I done?
Exactly.
Oh God. And then we got
Pantheism and Monarchs. This is the one that I've been campaigning for I don't know how long, and when I finally saw it, I'm like, yes.
You know what? Now that, especially how the game has evolved, I'm not even intimidated by Monarchs anymore.
I know there's a lot of people that have PTSD because of what this deck could do, shutting down the extra deck, shutting down monster effects that aren't tribute summoning. It can be tricky, but if you know how to build a deck and know what cards to include, you can get a pretty damn good build going on. And
yeah,
I personally just can't wait to get back and rebuild my domain monarchs with triple pantheism now. I gotta find my third copy.
I'm gonna go full degenerate. I'm gonna get revamped.
No.
The bystander's like, no, back.
No, we just got it back.
We're about to be living. We're gonna be the Yu-Gi-Oh version of Batman memes. You either die a hero or you live long enough to become the villain.
Yep,
that's what's gonna happen to me.
I've done that multiple times during my course, so in this game, so
we're playing Exodia Mon.
Oh, yeah, I gotta look at that one. That sounds like a very interesting deck. I've seen
literally, I remember that was one of the reasons why people were talking about Pantheism of the Monarch needing to go, is because there was literally like, you know how there's Blue Eyes Exodia or whatever, like Dragon Draw Exodia. This was this was Monarch Draw Exodia, and they were doing the same thing just with the
Monarch Draw Exodia. Just keep going in, get into pieces.
Pretty much, they were just added. I think the deck actually just added the Monarch stuff to the Blue Eye stuff. So basically, there was just as many ways to draw cards as possible.
That's pretty much any Exodia deck.
Yeah, or Stall Exodia. That's the only other option.
Stall Exodia. Oh, Stall Exodia. Yeah. Chain Burn Exodia.
Yeah, exactly. It's all but yeah, the prime thing is just that Pantheism. It's just pot of greed.
Yeah, you just
draw. It's not even really pot of greed. I'm pretty sure it's more like trade in, isn't it?
You pitch a card and you draw 3, I think, or draw 2.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. So it is a pot of greed. Never mind. I shut up.
It was a pot of greed with a cost, but you have to have a monarch spell and trap in your hand.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And we've got pot of riches and desires in the game now, so it's like, why not? Let's one more draw spell with a cost.
So, and the last card that's being released is Skystriker Mecha Widow Anchor. I know this card was on a lot of other YouTubers' lists to come off the list. I myself wanted to see actually multi-roll come down to 2, or at least give the deck a little bit more of a grind game, considering that Skystrikers are already running a ton of hand traps and negates in their deck, so having one more really doesn't really make any sense.
Evolved into a control deck, aren't they?
Well, they've always been like a control deck, so.
Oh, okay. I just know that they feel like they've gone more that direction than they were before. But then again, I guess losing their pot of greed would do that to them.
Oh, there's no more explosive plays, and you can't get to the pieces, so you have to basically run things like desires in the deck, and that's just.
Yeah, desire, and that's the thing is that desires has replaced engage. Yeah. And what I've noticed is that desires really just does not help that deck.
It depends on when you use it, because there's been times when I've used it in the deck and it completely and totally screwed me over. And other times when I held on to it and didn't use it right away and got the pieces I needed and then used it, it was all right. So you literally have to search for your necessary pieces to get the deck going before you use desires.
Yeah. It's just something that I've noticed when I would play against the deck. A lot of times I would win because my opponent played desires.
Yeah, and then they banished one of their key cards.
Yeah, another aspect of Sky Striker that they really take advantage of is putting a lot of spells in the graveyard, and
Yeah.
they can't do that with Desires.
No.
So,
and it's and they run it at 3 in a deck, so it's like
yeah, pretty much.
it's hurtful. So, but that's pretty much it for the list. Thoughts of the whole list?
Yeah. So now we go over winners and losers, right?
Right, we're going to do the winners and losers. So, which decks came out on top here?
Well, I think all the meta decks are still came out on top. They're all still the meta decks. I think that some of the decks will have to figure out some replacement cards or maybe a different route to take to get to where they used to go.
Right.
Like we discussed with the Fibrax maybe going Plague Spreader, or just flat out accepting that you're going to have to use 2 cards to get to it, but you can still basically end on the same board, or at least a similar one.
Similar, yeah.
Yeah. And then I think obviously one of the things is it's kind of a win and lose with Called by the Grave being gone.
Yeah.
Hand traps are definitely going to be more present in the game, so any deck that uses heavy hand traps is going to do well.
Yeah, so
that's going to be a lot of control players.
Yeah, so we're going to be seeing a lot more of the invoked hand trap builds coming in because that engine never got touched.
Yeah, they didn't bother. Dinosaurs kind of got a little. Dinosaurs, I'm going to say they walked out with a win on this one.
Yeah.
Called by the Grave was a big counter to their deck because stopping Miscellaneousaurus is important, and dinosaurs have a lot of ways to bait out negates. So,
so they probably are no longer like tier 2 deck. They're probably in between tier 2 and tier 1, tier 1.5 right now.
Yeah, they're definitely 1.5. Well, it's like the analogy I gave earlier that we didn't get a chance to show everybody. It's like they're like the guy hanging out outside the group. Like, here's the meta decks. This is dinosaurs right here. They're like, oh, I'm cool, guys. I've got Miscellaneousaurus. Come on, let me in the crew.
Right.
Unless you're Team Sam, and then you're like, Dinosaur's best deck.
Well, he won that invitational with dinosaurs. So if I remember correctly, so
he didn't even. I don't think he was even playing Called by the Grave either. So we might have to look at his deck if you're playing dinosaurs to kind of get an idea of how to go forward playing that.
Right. Any other decks won big time?
Dragon Link. PK Fire walked out like flipping champs on this one.
Triple Tour Guide, 2 Graph, 2 Sir, Rusty's back. So, crew's ready to roll. That's and with Called by the Grave, that can actually push PK Fire probably into a rogue, probably maybe tier 2 rogue.
I think it's right up there with dinosaurs. That's my bet. The reason I say that though is because, all right, so for example, Rusty's basically a 2 card. Is going to end you with 2 Fog Blades, so that's like on top of whatever disruption you already had available. So that's that. If that's timed right,
they can do some damage. So this is going to be very interesting. Any other losers that came out of this list here outside of the Called by the Grave?
I don't know, man. Can we scroll down for a second? Let me take a look at your screen here. We're looking for losers. Besides the 2 of us. I'm just kidding.
Thanks.
That's a mean joke. I'm sorry, bystander. I don't really, I don't. I think that the budget players are really the only ones who really walked out with this one because
I think that's the other big loss on this because Called by the Grave was a pretty big thing in budget players' decks to counteract various effects.
Yeah. That's all really I can say is there's a lot of decks that walked away with some wins. Like I said, all the water decks like Dino Mist and Frogs, they're walking away with more utility. ABC is back to at least playable.
Right.
BA walked out of here looking like freaking kings. Dinosaurs are like, no Called by the Grave, no problem.
Monarchs got their draw power back, so they're at full power.
Yeah, they're looking great. The only thing that's going to be a pain in the ass is dealing with them is that when they don't go for a Monarch and go for like Vanity's, empty or Vanity's Fiend or whatever.
Vanity's Fiend, yeah, we gotta run that card at 3 in the deck.
Yeah, and then we're like,
You want to see that
so
card?
and then it's going to be me going, no.
Yeah, that plus the extra deck blocker and Monarchs are up pretty much is GG. So
yeah, that's like game, set, match at that point.
And if you want to put icing on there, throw in the March on Monarchs where your opponent can't target or destroy your tribute summon monsters.
And if you got that set up, you could just have it. All right, have it, bro. In the age of hand traps, you get all that off. You have it. You won.
Well,
you
even if they Ash Blossom Pantheism, you still got to discard a card of your graveyard. So you're setting up a potential play. Hopefully, you have something like Prime or something else that you can utilize in the graveyard. Get that into the grave. Even if they Ash it, you don't draw it. You still get Pantheism in the grave. You can banish it on the same turn and still search out what you need. So,
yeah, you're right. You're right. And then like I said, they can like Monarchs get to play like some just pain in the monsters.
So other
they also get to abuse Stormforth and tribute all the opponent's stuff.
Yep.
Which is another way for them to get around cards like Dragoon if it happens to.
Yep, tribute off. Always good.
Well, I think that's pretty much everything, right?
Oh, there are some cards that weren't on this list. I think there are a lot of people are kind of miffed
we should probably discuss that.
So
actually, we talked about what they missed. So why don't you go ahead and you start?
So of course we have Destruction Sword.
Destruction. Oh yeah, the Buster
Wyvern Destruction Sword. Basically, it locks out your opponent from the extra deck.
Yeah, they probably should. I don't know. Should they hit Union Hanger or the Hanger, the Union Link monster?
No, I don't think they would do that.
No, I'm asking you. Which one do you think they should hit?
It's gonna more. It's more or less gonna probably be Buster because that's the end. That's the end result.
But it's also like I can see why they didn't hit it because it's not like you and I discussed. Like if you're not going first, it's not going to help you.
Yeah, it doesn't help if you're not going first, and if you're not running a dark or a dragon deck, it's not going to really fit well into your deck. Which
dark decks definitely walked away with a win on this one.
Yeah, I know. Dragon Link didn't get touched at all.
Yeah. We also mentioned like they didn't even bother with Zexal. They left Zexal and Calamities completely unmessed with.
Yeah, Calamities though, like I said, it's kind of out there, but depending on the decks that can run it, I know. Blue Eyes, we got Generators. What are some of the rank 9 stuff? I know Machina can do it, or Machina, whatever you want to say it.
Yeah, Dinosaurs,
yeah.
The True King variant.
True King variant can get it out.
But there's a very long-winded strategy where Mermails can pull it off too. But it's like, but here's the thing that always bothers me about it is when I see a lot of these other decks who are like, see, I can make Calamities too. I just kind of go, yeah, but you had to perform 10 summons to get there. You'd be Nibiru long before you got.
Yeah.
And with we're going into a hand trap format. Nibiru is gonna see a lot more play out.
Yeah, Nibiru, you're gonna see a lot more Nibirus. Ash, you're gonna see probably DD Crows now being used in decks that need to disrupt graveyards because we only have one call by now.
Yeah, so you're gonna see probably somebody. That's the thing is I think you're gonna see a DD Crow or Gamma, the Gamma package, and you're just gonna see kind of like, okay, I've got these 4 cards to deal with my opponent's hand traps, and depending on which one of the 4 I draw, or their graveyard, you might see DD Crow and Gamma swapped out, like depending on how this format evolves, right. I think you'll see them you're definitely going to see one of them in the side and one of them in the main.
Right.
Like I wouldn't even be shocked if somebody's like, okay, I'm going to main deck the Gamma package, and then game 2 I'm going to swap it out for DD Crow and the Call by the Graves.
That'll be interesting. I can tell you that right now. But yeah, those 3 cards didn't get touched. I mean, to be honest, I don't. I know that a lot of players don't like the calamities, primarily because of its lingering effect. But it is
Yeah.
what it is. Numeron, I think, is still too new. I know they could have won after the S0 Utopic Sexal,
Mm-hmm.
but like I said, since the engine is still too new, and really, I don't. It's kind of getting to the point where are you gonna put this this engine in what deck? So
Yeah. Ugh. And let's face it, you're gonna see. I mean, like a lot of the decks that were abusing the Zexal, I think now are gonna go more towards Dragoon because Dragoon just has a higher impact anyway.
yeah, it takes less resources. So
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like the deck that I know for sure of the one that I was seeing play the Zexal lock a lot uh, before this ban list was Guru, but Guru is going to play the Dragoon card because, like you said, less resources and a higher, I think, a higher ceiling. I think
I've
ultimately.
seen different decks being played around. I know I saw somebody on in the Facebook Draco group messing around with the Monarch stuff in their deck,
Yeah,
and I'm
I mean,
like, yeah.
that the true Draco and Monarchs are like two peas in a pain in the ass
Well,
pod.
it's the thing about it is that with true, if you're going to be running your true Dracos with Monarch stuff, you just run the spells and traps in it. It makes
Hmm.
it makes it a whole lot easier to do because if you start incorporating the Monarch monsters, it just becomes disjointed.
Yeah, but it just so happens that they like I think the fire one happens to have Monarch stats, so
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of
So
another reason
Tenacity can
where they
search
kind
it,
of
search out your Pantheons, and Pantheons can pitch off whatever you don't need in your hand, and then you basically are drawing deeper into your deck. So it's a
yeah.
pretty interesting draw engine, and I'm definitely going to give it a roll to see how it affects Dracos.
Hmm.
I mean, I really wish that we would have gotten something else back. I mean, I still don't understand the reason why Dynamite Knight is limited. I mean, we have
If we're talking
Diagram
about
limited.
bringing
And that's
stuff back, Dragon Rulers, just saying. Except the water one.
it's
I'm just
just
saying.
it's just not. To me, I think this card could have come down the list as well, maybe to 2 or 3. I mean, it just doesn't make sense, especially when they limit um, Diagram to 1. This should have went down just to kind of counteract it. Draco decks really
I've
need the
also
bodies on the board, so
I've also seen a lot of people arguing about Masterpiece coming back. How do you feel about that?
well,
I'm sure as
that's
a
the
true
thing. I
Draco
mean,
player, you're probably like, yes, but
it would be back, and I know like a handful of players that would have an aneurysm with it being back. But it's just the way the game has shaped up with kaiju's being more relevant. Having it back to 1 wouldn't be that bad of an idea because you could just kaiju it off the field and then it's gone.
mhm.
Because you would have to actually recycle it back into your deck and able to really be able to summon it again. So
Well, and truth be told, if they were to actually just to flat out ban the field spell, I'm pretty sure that wouldn't be the worst thing either. Like if they ban the field spell, you could bring him back to 1. I guess
maybe
he's a little less searchable that way, is what I'm getting at.
you still have the matches demanding to get him into your hand.
Right, but the trick of the thing was, I think when he got banned, the problem was is people were playing triple the field spell, and they were playing some of the True Draco stuff, but they were like they were splashing him in other decks. Is what I was getting
Yeah,
at. It's
that's the
it's the
whole thing.
same problem with Red Eyes. Basically, if you get rid of the field spell entirely, then you could bring him back to
He's
1, and
he's
then
less
he's trapped in
splashable,
his
right?
deck. Yeah, he's trapped in his own deck. It's the same idea of banning Anaconda and limiting Red Eyes Fusion. Basically, now you've trapped Dragoon to DM in Red Eyes where he
Right.
belongs.
Of course, Dragoon will probably be put down to 1 if playing multiples are too oppressive, and I wouldn't be surprised if Anaconda and Red Eyes Fusion also get pushed to 1 as well, because
Yeah.
Konami's not going to be
They're, they're not gonna. Are you kidding me? I bet that they won't even do anything about Dragoon until 2021 at the earliest. That's my bet.
Probably.
I have like very little faith in Konami actually dealing with problem cards in the game. I'll be honest with you. And this list, like I said, it felt very blatant that this list was more about money than it ever was about fixing the game. That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Your audience is welcome to disagree with me. We can just agree to disagree on that.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah, I mean, and especially on Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, this is like the least important thing on the planet. You know?
Okay. So, with that being said, anything you want to see coming off on the next ban list that's coming out in December? Maybe Konami might give us a few Christmas presents by surprising us with a few releases off the list.
If they could just give me Blaster back, I'd be happy. It's my favorite monster. It's still gone.
Blaster, yeah, Blaster, the Dragon Ruler of Infernos. Yep. I mean, I would love to see Blaster come back. I think that would probably be the safest one to bring back. I mean, yeah, maybe Redox, but then they would have to do something more to Adamantitators, in my opinion. I think that needs to be.
Adamantitators could even really use it. Like I said, for them, he would be at best. He would be just another body, and he doesn't give them extra stuff. Like, he's either a Monster Reborn or he's an extra body. He just doesn't provide enough advantage for them, if you want me to be honest. And then Blaster, the only thing on the decks that I think that I've seen an argument being that he's going to really increase their ceiling is Salamangreat.
No, I wouldn't do it.
Because the only reason why I say that, though, is because they like going in the graveyard, so...
They do like going to the graveyard, but they also like recycling stuff out of the graveyard, and with Blaster banishing stuff that kind of counteracts that.
Yeah. And so I think in their mind, they're thinking like they'll use the baby fire Dragon Ruler that summons him too. So the idea like is to use him as like a free body that way. Is what I'm guessing that they're
possibly
thinking.
Linking him off.
Which, you know, you guys should stay tuned to my channel because that's going to be something I pull off with the Wind Dragon Ruler.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah. There was a certain new archetype that got support, or not an old archetype that got new support, and I found a way to make the baby dragon ruler, the Wind one, useful.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, I will. So stay tuned to my channel. You guys will want to see that.
Definitely.
I'm gonna chaz it up, if you will. Don't say it out loud, bystander, if you figured it out.
Oh God. God, no.
Don't say it out loud.
Not that thing.
Yourself. Oh.
Not that thing, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, damn.
I'm bringing the thunder. I'm such a dork.
Oh, right. Man.
All right, well, I think we've covered everything on the ban as far as the ban list goes.
So it's going to be a very interesting format how it shapes up to see the top decks. I know the meta decks are not going to move. They've just been put into check. We might see some more play out of dinosaurs. PK Fire, definitely. Especially after November, we'll see another uptick with all the new support. So it's going to be a very interesting 3 months.
Yeah. It's going to feel like, it's going to be there. It's going to be gone quick.
You know,
we're gonna blink and it's gonna be December. It's because we're old. I'm just kidding.
Well,
all right. So should we do closing statements then?
Yes. All right. So, like I said, I'm enjoying this particular list. I'm very excited to see how this format's going to form up. I personally can't wait to start building some of these decks I was talking about during this video.
Likewise.
I know you probably have some decks lined up based on this as well. Yeah, the big Yu-Gi-Oh brains are starting to work now. Gone away from the long format. We've got the new rejuvenation, so this is going to be something seriously fun.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of experimentation the next 3 weeks.
You definitely will. Okay.
The only thing I'm going to say before we get out of here is Dinosaur's best deck.
We'll see.
We'll see. Exactly.
We will see. Well, what version of dinosaurs, man? What version?
pure dinos.
Pure dinos. Best
I don't need nothing else. All right.
I don't know. Maybe
I've got dino DNA in here.
Oh boy, making all the GX quotes now.
Oh yeah, somebody right now is rolling their eyes. They're just like, oh god, this guy.
Well, this is what I have. Anybody who's seen your channel, they know what's up, and trust me, this is just the tip of the iceberg. It gets better.
Are we giving them a warning now, bystander?
No, it's a warning or it's an invitation. Depends on your sense of humor.
Right. They're gonna come over to my channel and be like, this dude.
Speaking of your channel, guys, I'm gonna have Ben TK's channel in the description box as well as in the end screen. So, guys, please check him out. Sub him up. We work very hard to produce content for you guys, and I know very well he'll appreciate all his new viewers coming in. Help him.
I would
help him meet his goals. Break those barriers.
Let me be. I'm telling you guys, if I can get monetized on YouTube, I'm gonna go to the first Yu-Gi-Oh event that I can where I started after I've started making money on my channel. One of the things I want to do is I want to go to a Yu-Gi-Oh event cosplaying as Ben 10, some version of him or another.
Oh boy.
Yep. So be prepared to see my gut and tights. Somebody's like, all right,
okay,
I'm down to watch this guy make a fool of himself. And other people are going to be like, no, God, please no.
My eyes.
And I'm going to be like, you're welcome.
No, it'll be very good. I mean, I know that a lot of us are actually looking forward to actually larger events to getting back started.
Yeah. Hopefully when they're safe enough and we don't need this.
Yes, we don't need the masks. That vaccine vaccine that actually builds immunity is readily available to everybody. Hopefully we can get back to actually the larger events and we can actually start really getting into more competitive Yu-Gi-Oh.
God, I can't wait.
Oh, I know. I know a lot of people are the first YCS they're gonna hold. It's
gonna be massive.
It will be massive. That's not gonna be. They're gonna have to probably do it in multiple sites.
Yeah, like I wouldn't even be shocked if they had to turn people away because of like building codes or something.
I think multiple sites will probably be the first thing, and I wouldn't be surprised if it spills into maybe like not into another site, but both sites are full max and they have to go into a third, because it's definitely gonna be something big, and something amazing.
I'm gonna say one thing. I definitely have. I've realized this whole quarantine season has definitely made me realize how much I took for granted hanging out with friends and going to these events.
Yeah.
What admittedly before the virus, sometimes I used to be kind of like, oh, I don't want to get up early. I don't want to, I just want to go and get my packs and play a few games and go home. And I took for granted hanging out with friends and the experience. And now that this quarantine is going to make me appreciate going to the events more.
Yeah.
It
makes playing Yu-Gi-Oh! At these events a lot more special.
Yeah, exactly. That's, so when this whole ordeal this whole pandemic situation is over, that's definitely something I'm definitely gonna appreciate it more.
Well, until then, we still have the online community. We still have various remote duels.
It's going strong.
It is strong. The online community, they're still hosting tournaments. I know that. It's just not in the massive amount of frequency as before when the pandemic first started. Yeah. But there are online tournaments still going online. I know we're going to be getting more remote duels. Konami's trying to encourage locals to start remote dueling more, or if they can get people in safely to actually have in-person, face-to-face locals. Really depends. I know those locals that have a small community might benefit a little bit more with that and be able to pull it off, but the larger locals, maybe not.
I know I'm not playing any games in person anyway.
Not right now, no.
Just speaking for me on that one.
No, I'm actually with you with that. Not until there's a vaccine. Not for me. No.
Yeah, likewise. I live with people in my household who are have autoimmune diseases, so
Yeah, you can't
or
do that.
auto
You have to
yeah,
protect them.
I just can't risk it. So for
No.
their sake, I can't risk it. Also, I've had pneumonia before. And that almost killed me. So I'm not. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
willing to play that game either.
no. You don't want to play games with your health.
No.
That's why Konami's doing what they're doing. I mean, I'm hoping that they will at least start taking a look more at the online event, more like online events, especially if the locals decide to remote duel instead of
Yeah.
doing it like in person with cameras and stuff like that. Maybe like they do Dueling Book or YGO Pro or something like that, or EDO Pro or something like that.
Yeah. If the locals start doing remote duels, I think that the good news with that will be is we'll have more official, if you will,
Yeah,
tournaments to use.
there
So
will
that
be
means
more.
that
Yeah, it'll be more official. But like I said, the with locals, the deck can vary. Some locals
right,
are
but
more meta, some locals are more casual. So
right, but I'm just saying that we would have official tournament
yeah,
results, which means we would have more, because Konami doesn't want to use the simulators; they want us to
yeah.
use the real cards. So that's
Which
why they only count those tournaments. But maybe I will say this from looking at this list, I think they did listen to us to a degree.
yeah,
I don't
there
think that they
was
can.
there was definitely some listening to what a lot of the troopers were saying. On certain cards
I mean,
had to be dealt with. Other cards had to come off the list. So
yeah,
they are
like block.
listening. They just need to be a little bit more vocal about it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've covered everything, bud.
Right. So, guys, like I said, check out Ben 10's channel, sub to him. He's got some amazing content, great comedy sketches as well. They always make me laugh or groan, or
Maybe
but
grown
it
more
is
lately.
very engaging. So, definitely awesome.
Wait till you see my next one.
Is that a threat or a warning, or both?
Maybe a bit of both.
Guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content on my channel, make sure to subscribe, enable notifications so you don't miss any uploads, both here as well as on Ben K's channel. Check out the description box below. Find the links to my affiliates, tcgplayer.com and sidedeckversus.com. Great resources for any Yu-Gi-Oh player. Follow me on social media, and if you guys want to help grow my community to greater heights, the invite link to my Discord server is in the description box as well. Join the conversation. We'll love to have you. As always, guys, until next time, peace.
What he said.
Ditto.
Had to have the